Hello kids, my name is Jeff Carney and my family and I were missionaries in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. In fact, Tori, hello Tori, Tyler, how's it going buddy? They're there at camp with you this week. This is their first experience at camp, and my wife Elizabeth and I, well, we're on vacation because Tori and Tyler are at camp. Well, Brother Warren asked me if I would just share with you for a few minutes here during camp as you put your focus on missions about how God has worked in our lives in moving us to the mission field. Let me just tell you a little bit about the story of my life, my youth. My dad was a pastor for many years in Pennsylvania. So most of my life, I grew up as a preacher's kids. I have many brothers and sisters. There's 9 of us: Julie, Jeff, Jill, Jenny, Janice, Joel, James, Joanne, and John. I'm the oldest boy. And one time at a missions conference in our church, much like the missions conference you'd have here at Trinity, my dad went forward at the close of the service and told the mission speaker that he was going to go to the mission field. Well, that was kind of a shock to me as a young boy. I remember thinking, why in the world would my dad ever leave the comforts of America and go to someplace like Mexico or Africa or to a foreign mission field? And as a young person, that was difficult for me. I remember saying to my dad on that Sunday, I will never, ever go to the mission field. Well, obviously, that didn't come to pass because I'm now a missionary in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, and we've been on the mission field for over 10 years. And as far as the call of God in my life to get to the mission field, when I was pastoring or youth pastoring in Georgia, we took some teenagers on a missions trip. During the summer, it's common for churches to take missions trips, and we took our teenagers to the mission field. My wife and I were there together, and we didn't have any children at that time, but we were able to see the need that existed on the mission field. And so we just agreed together to pray about that for the next year, prayed about that, and God led us to become missionaries. And so from there we began raising our support in order that we can go to the mission field. I hear people talk about the call they received. I think just as there's different types of ice cream, different flavors, styles of churches, there's obviously different flavors of Christians and people. We don't all have to be the same. So how God worked in my life to get to the mission field might be different than how he worked in other people's life. There's a verse here in Isaiah that says, "Also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, Here am I, send me." My call to the mission field was that I saw a need, and I said, I'm willing to go. I did not receive a specific verse of scripture. I did not hear God talking to me. Did not see Mexico or Yucatan written in the clouds. I just saw a need and said to God, God, if you want my wife and I, if you want Elizabeth and I to go to the mission field, we're willing to go. And God gave us peace to go to the mission field and has blessed our work there in the Yucatan. Our plan is next year to return to the States. We should be here at Trinity for a furlough, and then from there we're going to continue to serve the Lord in missions. I hope that your heart will be open to what God will have you do with your life, and I hope that your ears will be in tune with his voice, so that if it's his will, you can say, Here am I, send me.